Good morning, my friends, and welcome to this special time together. On our Sunday morning experience that is now evolving into the first Sunday of 2021. Goodbye, 2020. And may you rest in peace. And we move forward into our new experience, and I am celebrating, as we are here at the Tri-City Religious Science Center, the 46th year that I have taught the basic ideas of science of mind, religious science. Dr. Ernest Holmes many years ago wanted us to, as ministers, to teach every January the basic ideas of religious science. The basic ideas unfolding in and as the textbook of the science of mind unfolds, beginning with the introduction, which is the thing itself, the way it works, what it does, and how to use it. We'll be covering that the first 4 Sundays of this month. And then we have 5 Sundays. The 5th Sunday, I will do a correlation of the experience we call religious science. Now, Dr. Ernest Holmes was speaking at a class at UCLA, a philosophy class. One of the students, when the question and answer period evolved, asked Dr. Holmes to explain religious science in 25 words. Dr. Holmes said, religious science is a correlation of the laws of science, the opinions of philosophy, and the revelation of all religion as applied to human needs and the aspirations of mankind. Interesting explanation. Laws of science, opinions of philosophy, revelation of all religions, as applied to human needs and the aspirations of mankind. Now, in the Science of Mind textbook at the beginning is something very interesting, because what it says is, and what it points out, where it says these lessons are dedicated to that truth which frees man from himself and sets him on the pathway of a new experience, which enables him to see through the mist to the eternal and changeless reality. Now, I love the poem because Dr. Holmes, someone said, what was the difference in Thomas Trord, the mathematician, and Ernest Holmes, the poet? Well, that was the difference. And over the years, the 46 years I've been teaching this, I have noticed that engineers and people involved in mathematics are drawn to Trord, and poetic artists, actors, musicians tend to be drawn to Ernest Holmes, teaching the same thing but doing it from a different perspective, one right brain, one left brain, describing the same exact thing. Now, Dr. Holmes says, and in this beautiful, listen to the words, I'm sure you maybe haven't heard them for a while. The table is laid bare, and the fruits of life are spread before thee. The wine is also here, it sparkles with light. I have set a chair for you where the sunbeam dances through the shade. Sit and rest, and refresh your soul. Eat of the fruit, drink of the wine. All is yours, and you are welcome. And you are welcome. Dr. Fenwick Holmes was my teacher. I was very fortunate to have Dr. Holmes as part of my life in my late 20s. I had already had classwork, and he really fine-tuned what I thought I knew at the time. I walked in one Saturday morning at his home in Seal Beach, and when I did, he was he was at his dining room table and had the textbook open. And I said, "What are you doing, Doc?" He said, "Today's lesson. Did you do yours?" Well, the textbook I use, and here it is, isn't this beautiful? I'll turn it around the other way. There it is. There we go. This one was given to me by one of the classes, my ministerial class. Gave me this beautiful book, has an introduction by Gene Houston. This was given to me as the class graduated, and I really appreciate it. On this particular textbook, it also has a concordance in it, which if you don't have or you're serious about it. Now, I recommend that all of you do what you can, and it's kind of been my ongoing procedure year after year to do the textbook every year. I'm going to do the first part of it with you this year as we move into the thing itself. Now, in spiritual mind treatment, the first step of treatment is really the thing itself. There is one life, it's God. That life is my life. Now, where do we get this? In the words of, here we go, Emma Curtis Hopkins. Emma Curtis Hopkins, who was Ernest Holmes' teacher, or one of them. Emma said in her first lesson of spiritual science is the statement of first principle taught by pure and undefiled religion. It is the name or God omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, good, spirit, mind. Now, what was she talking about? The one thing. The universal mind, which made everything out of what? Itself, and the most intelligent thing we know anything about. The highest form of its creation is you and me, and everyone everywhere. What if we could let go and let ourselves greet that in everyone? Our Hindu friends do. That's what they're saying when they say namaste. The God in me greets the God in you. There is one life, it's God. It's our life. Now, Dr. Holmes says, Dr. Holmes points out, page 25, it's the beginning of the textbook, where he points out in the thing itself. Listen to these words carefully. We all look forward to the day when science and religion shall walk hand in hand through the visible to the invisible. Science knows nothing of opinion, but recognizes a government of law whose principles are universal. Yet any scientist who refuses to accept the intangible values has no adequate basis for the values which he has already discovered. Revelation must keep faith with reason, and religion with law. While intuition is ever spreading its wings for greater flight, and science must justify faith in the invisible. Now, Dr. Holmes continues, where he says, to suppose that the creative intelligence of the universe would create man in bondage and leave him bound would be to dishonor the creative power we call God. So let's look at this. On page 33, Dr. Holmes points out something absolutely wonderful. But the point he is making is something that is important for you to understand, primarily because it is not a new idea. Dr. Holmes pointed out shortly before he passed, he was interviewed by the Los Angeles Times, and Dr. Holmes said, when you steal from one person, it's called plagiarism. If you steal from everybody, you're called a scholar. He said, I'd like to be remembered as a scholar. Because he never claimed to say anything new. What he did was correlate the wisdom of the age. He points out, now listen to these words from Corinthians, because, if you think what Dr. Holmes came up with was new, it isn't. It's been around. It was August Berg, who was our wonderful minister in Paris, France, who pointed out to me when I studied with him back in the 60s that what religious science is teaching is the oldest religion on the planet. In 1 Corinthians 8:6, it says, there is but one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him. Isn't that saying there's one light that's God? It's also the ducks you're hearing flying over. Now, Dr. Holmes says on page, 33. Page 33 is important. Now, listen to these words. Dr. Holmes says, God is always God. No matter what our emotional storm or what our objective situation may be, there is always a something hidden in the inner being that has never been violated. We may stumble, but always there is that which is eternal, which that eternal voice forever whispering within our ear, that thing which causes the eternal quest, that thing which forever sings and sings. That thing which forever sings and sings. We can make a demand to know and then shut up and listen. But there are no plans for you in the universe until you make up your mind. There is nothing that's telling you what to do or, doing things to you. It's only done through you. Jesus knew this when he said it's done unto you as you believe. And we're going to explore why that's true and how to utilize it in our life over the next 4 weeks. God is always God, said Dr. Holmes. So we go forward. You see, it's important, my dear friends, for us to convince ourselves that there is that which does not change. What is the only thing in the universe will never change is change. You see, regardless of what does change in our human experience, we can depend on the fact that this phrase in our textbook right now, this quotation, God is always God, is an awareness when we realize that there is no more truism than this. It is a genuine and very, very important truth that we need to recognize and honor. These 4 words, God is always God. God is always God. That's the thing itself. These 4 words must be indelibly printed in your consciousness. And then move forward into the subjective, into the subconscious mind, where you begin to think as God thinks, as love thinks, as possibility thinks. You begin to worry, as I pointed out a few weeks ago, you begin to realize that it doesn't do you any good to sit down and wait for your worries to catch up with you. Worry is just negative faith. It's faith that everything's going to go wrong. Use your faith in a positive way, from God, through God, to God. This truth, this is our ability. You see, if we want to demonstrate truth in our world, if we want to demonstrate as students of the science mind, of unity, of divine science, CSL, anything that you're studying that leads you to the truth of you, wake up and let that truth think as you, and just stop. Move from thinking about it to thinking as it thinks. The realization of this is the understanding that Miles Davis, the great musician, pointed out to us, that you play the music until you are the music. The same thing with metaphysics. You think about it till you think as it thinks. You see, we must we must know that regardless of any person, place, or circumstance, whatever it is, God is always God. God is the person. God is the place. God is the circumstance, because God is always God. God is the substance of all form. Divine substance cannot be subject to dis-ease or pain or impairment or malfunction. God is the soul of all living things, is the soul of you, of me, everyone, everywhere, of every religion. They're all trying to understand God in their own way, through their own culture, through their own ability to define whatever makes them feel better about the possibility of unfoldment. The God of oneness is what all great teachers have taught, not duality. God is the intelligence behind all that occurs. No substance can exist outside of the mind of God. These are challenging thoughts, and we're going to move through a great understanding of them. If you have a textbook, read the first chapter, The Thing Itself, this week, and we'll move forward to the following chapter, and we will move all the way through the first 4 chapters as we honor this month and Dr. Holmes suggesting that we explore the basics. So know, my friends, as we close this morning, that the thing itself is the celebration of the one life of God. The thing itself is everything you are. Next week we'll explore the way it works, then what it does, and then how to use it. Right now, and you're joining with my cat, know with me that you are that which you are. And if you put that in first person, just say with me, I am that I am. You see, what you are in truth is the God in you in action as you. And you're left alone to discover that. So I welcome you to the discovery. The truth about you, my friends, has forever been true and will forever be true. Understand what it is, learn what it is, explore what it is, apply what it is. There's one truth, that truth is God. That is the truth about you. It sustains you. It moves you forward. It prospers you. It guides you. It strengthens you. It makes every day the finest day of your life when you let go and let it be that. So know it's true. Thank you for beginning this year with me. Happy New Year. Let's move forward through the first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind textbook as we explore the basics this month. Next week, the way it works. The following week, what it does, and then how to use it. I love you guys, and I appreciate you spending this time with me this morning. Let it be your way. So it is. And now, I want to mention that this program and our wonderful work at Tri-City Religious Science is here for you. We love you and appreciate you, and we are asking you for your love offering, and we celebrate your ability to share with us. We honor your gift, and we thank you. We're going to ask you for it and thank you for your giving. And so it is. And now let us go within and honor this day. With the awareness that there's one life, it's God, it's our life, your life and mine. I know this truth, and I let it be known by me in a whole new way, higher, healthier, happier, freer to be what I know I am, God in action. For I know God loves the world by means of me. I speak my word in first person, joined with me in consciousness. As I know the truth of my being unfolds in such a way that every cell of my body, every fiber of my being honors it and gives birth to a whole new version of itself. Healthy mind, healthy body, healthy world. I speak my word for my country and my world. I know that new consciousness unfolds as new, healthy experiences. As we free ourselves from our yesterday, we take the lessons out of it. That which worked, we apply more of. That which did not work, we release. And we slingshot ourselves into a great tomorrow, beginning now. And because it is so, we celebrate it and know it is. We let it be our way, and so it is, was, and shall be forever. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you for sharing this time.